and use the moon's gravity to affect our inclination. This is what we've been building for this season. Valentina Kerbin's head feels light. Folks' job is not only going to be to dock now, but to actually bring Kerbin Station back to life. Hello and welcome to the season finale of Permanent Presence. Yes, this is the episode in which we achieve the goal for this season, which is to establish a permanent Kerbal presence in space by putting a space station in low Kerbin orbit, outfitting it with everything that's required for Kerbalism so they can stay up there into the indefinite future. And you'll be seeing that soon enough, but for now, we're here with Virbree in our tour bus. Familiar looking vehicle for the last couple of episodes, turning out to be more handy than I ever would have guessed. But this is actually a contract you have seen before. This is the investor tour. You can probably remember this from a couple of episodes ago where you had to tour around a VIP, and that will unlock one of two contracts, either to build a casino in space or to build a hotel in space. And I thought I would just do that, and I went for the casino. And then, lo and behold, the contract respawned itself, so I figure, well, why not do it again? This time, we'll go for the hotel. Maybe we'll unlock both. And then later down the road, I can decide which one I want to do, or perhaps do both of them. So, since last time I unlocked the casino, this time we're going to go for the hotel, so we got to go pick up Ernie, and then we got to give him the tour. And that's about it, so this won't take too long. And just to be clear, when I say the end of this season, I'm not saying the end of this series. I have every intention of continuing on with this series, but what I'm going to be doing after this episode is taking a bit of a break from it. I'm still going to be producing KSP related videos, just in a different vein than a Let's Play, and I'm hoping many of you will be looking forward to that. Still shooting with the goal of doing at least a video every week. And after about a month or two off from this series, I'm going to come back to it, pick up where we left off, and we'll go into Season 2. We'll set ourselves up another goal. And if you have an idea of what you would like to see for that other goal, by all means, let me know down there in the comments. Actually, I did take a quick look at the casino contract, which is now unlocked. It's a bit berserk. I mean, the reward for it is huge. But I think it has to be able to house 100 Kerbals, if I recall that. I can't remember what all of them were. That one stuck out in my head. And also has to have at least 3 asteroids attached to it, which that is pretty crazy. So yeah, we're not going to be seeing that for a while, but it might make a fun objective. Actually, definitely will be a fun thing to try and do. Maybe might make a good goal for the next season of this, in fact. Why don't I use this opportunity to talk about what else is coming up in this episode? Well, clearly there's going to be the launching of a space station. That's going to be the highlight, and we will be crewing said space station. As well, though, I do have another launch of the P2, another iteration of that particular vehicle that you've seen the last 2 episodes, in fact, going out to the moon, and this one as well will be heading out towards the moon, but with a little bit of a different objective. An objective that doesn't directly have to do with the moon. But I'll get to that when we get to that. Right now, though, I seem to be having some issues. The contract requirement for the vehicle assembly building doesn't seem to want to go green. Come on, vehicle assembly building. Drive around till it goes green. Which was fine until I realized I'd spent too much time with a solar-powered vehicle in the shadow of the VAB. Tour bus batteries are getting low. Back in the sun you go. Come on, we're in the sun. We are in the sun. No, no. Oh my gosh. Why is the electric charge gone? I just lost the electric charge and I don't know why. We're fully in the sun. And in fact, upon checking the solar panel, I got a message that said that the solar panel was occluded by the vehicle, which to me made no sense, and it was included regardless of the orientation of the vehicle. So I figured there's some sort of wacky glitch going on here. I tried going to the Space Center and coming back. I restarted the game. None of that seemed to help. So in the end, I decided I was just going to recover the vehicle. I figured there's just something wrong with it. I got Eddie out, left him behind, hoping to pick up this contract again with another vehicle. You might also notice there's another Kerbal there. That's Hudnard, the other VIP. I brought him over because he had electricity still in his suit, and I thought maybe that could somehow rectify this. It didn't help. So the vehicle was being rebuilt, and of course while that's happening, that gives us a chance to go on and do some other things. And we are off. So this is, well, it should look pretty familiar. This is an almost identical craft to the P2 that you saw last episode, orbiting about the moon and returning. The only thing I did actually is I added a little bit of monoprop in there, and if you watched last episode, that is for some obvious reasons. And you can see, well, once again I got Valentina along. Valentina last time went about the moon, and I'm sending her to the moon again. That is partially, I suppose, poor planning on my part, but it can be explained by taking a look at the contract. If you take a look at the contract, you will see that the moon is not mentioned. In fact, what this contract is one of the Kerbal Academy contracts where you gain experience for having your Kerbals do certain things. And the certain thing we need to do is perform a 45-degree inclination change in orbit about Kerbin. And this contract requires that we have Valentina on board, so that's why Valentina is once again our pilot. But our engineer is different. We have Madby, our newest engineer, along for the ride. And although they look almost the same, their textures are a smidge different if you look closely. Anyway, the contract is to do a 45-degree inclination change about Kerbin, and that's actually a pretty expensive thing to do. The best thing to do is to push your apoapsis up high and to do the inclination change out far away from space, or from Kerbin, where you're traveling slower. But then I got into, you know what I might try and do, and we'll see how this works. This might mess up the contract. I thought, why don't we try to go to the moon again and use the moon's gravity to affect our inclination. So that's going to be kind of the plan here, is to kind of go around the moon, use the moon to mess up my well, not mess up my inclination, but affect my inclination, make that 45-degree inclination change using the moon's gravity, and hopefully we can do this, well, quite a bit more cheaply. That's sort of what the idea is. It might not work because the contract might get messed up once we leave Kerbin's sphere of influence, but whatever, then we'll just try again with a different vessel. You know, but if it works, it'll be more fun, I think, to do it that way. Anyway, we are just about to lose our radial LFO boosters here. Of course, we have my newest launch, the most up-to-date launch script I have, the one you saw last episode as well, so this should do the entire insertion for me. Alright, getting ready for fairing separation. Oh, yeah, I didn't really... Oh, they both went away this time. Didn't change too much. It doesn't go... And deploying stuff. Almost added deployable solar panels to deal with the electrical issues, but these folks aren't going to orbit the moon. They're just going to fly by it. And so they won't be spending as much time in the dark as our previous Kerbals have. And besides, I do have monopropellant aboard and a monoprop fuel cell. So, whoa. Oh. Uh-oh. Looks like our program crashed. Okay. Okay. I'm not quite sure what happened there. We are less than a minute from apoapsis, so I guess Valentina, you're our backup. Our software failed, so it's now going to be up to Kerbals to perform the circularization. Not quite sure what happened. Okay, it looks like the circ... You know, I did make a change to that circ node. That's the function in the program that creates the maneuver node to do the insertion. Here, let's start this up. And I did make a change to that. And I'll be honest, I didn't really spend a lot of time testing said change. I thought the change was pretty simple, but clearly something kind of went wrong here. Pushing a nan, not a number into the stack. Oh, the classic. Yeah, the change I made... I'll talk about this as I'm doing this. Why not? Here. The change I made to the thing is that I wanted to actually have that... be able to perform a circularization into other inclinations besides just an inclination of 0. Wouldn't have come up with this one. But that way, while it's doing the insertion, it's not only doing the insertion, but also shooting for trying to get into the right inclination. But maybe because we're already so close to the desired inclination that caused some sort of a problem. Could be. I'd have to look at the code in detail. Try and figure out. Hopefully it's something really simple that would be easy to fix. Not going to deal with it now, though, because right now we are doing this. And there we go. That's 80 by 80. Okay. Yeah, we're here, so let's stage. Get rid of that. And there, you can see our single monopropellant can that got added in there. We will expose our solar panels here nicely. They should be generating some electricity for me. Oops. There we go. But then otherwise, we should think about getting ourselves out to the moon. Okay. Here, let's get rid of all of this. There we go. Now, we're going to have to be coming definitely across one of the poles in order to, or at least near one of the poles. I've never really done this. I'm not exactly sure what's going to be the approach. Whoops. But having not done this before is a good reason to give her a go now, isn't it? I would think I would want to come around retrogradish and normalish and, you know, come around this. So what I think I'll do, let's actually bring this down a little. That might be about right. And then if we use our normal burn to bring it down around here-ish, I guess. Oh, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll play around. We got a lot of Delta V to play with, because this thing is capable of getting a capture about the moon and all of that. Oh, I'm just noticing where my... That's the stage we just... Oh, I hope it's not going to be... Oh my gosh. Let's stop this. I don't think we're pointed at it. No, I think we're going to go below it. And by below, I mean, you know, with the planet below us. On the planet side of that, which I suppose is the traditional meaning of the word below. There we go. Start to burn. But maybe I should be starting to think when I ditch these boosters if I'm going to make an injection burn like this. To maybe think about if I pushed it off in a radial or into a normal direction, I probably wouldn't have this issue. I have before. It's not like I never crashed into my own booster before. I have done it. So it's not beyond... Oh, how close are we going? We are missing it, but how close are we going to get? Oh, without really seeing the numbers, but I think I got within about 100 meters of it. Still a miss. I'm noticing this part of the burn here. Move to an inclined orbit by burning normal, anti-normal. And I'm not sure if that is a requirement or just a suggestion. I would think it's just a suggestion. It's just telling you what to do. We're not going to quite do that. We'll be doing a little bit of normal or anti-normal burning, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's pretty good. Add a maneuver, and I guess it doesn't matter much. Oh boy, that's pretty much coming in equatorial. I guess I'm exiting a little to the... So let's cheat to the north. I don't think it matters which way I affect my inclination, so we're going to try going north like this, that kind of a thing. And you can see how that's affecting my inclination, though I'm kicking my apoapsis way high. That's the kind of thing I want to kind of avoid. So let's push, I would think, radially away or up, that kind of a thing. If I keep going radially away, does that keep... Yes, that's bringing it down. That's kind of what I want to do. There, 30 kilometers, that should be good. Inclination, you can see here, is almost 50 degrees. I love that. That'll be great. What's my periapsis with the moon? I don't want to... Make sure that's... I should be good and far from it. Here we go. Buzzing by the moon, missing it by a lot, but that's what's doing... Okay. Nice, 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 nice. And the burn's only 128 meters per second. And that should be our return back to Kerbin 2. Now, it's going to take about 4 hours for the burn. You know, that's going to give us some time to get back to the upper stage that we left behind. Actually, we almost hit it, didn't we? But normally I wouldn't show you this, but actually there's something with trajectories here first. If we show the trajectory, I used to have some issues. You might recall, where are we at? Okay, a little further. With trajectories really slowing down the frame rate, the mission time. But somebody suggested getting into the settings and putting on this use cache. So now I have this on. So we have our trajectory on. Now so far our orbit, we're not in the atmosphere at all with our trajectory. So, but we'll see if this fixes the issue with slowing down the frame rate of the computer. Well, oh, definitely not. It's good. Yes, yes, yes. Let's just get that X in there. There should be good. Because it will actually, stage recovery will remove it before it actually gets down to the water. But look, we're still green. Still, the frame rate is still as per normal. So that seems to fix that. So in trajectories, turn on this use cache. Seems to fix the issue. Okay, we can turn that off now. We don't need it anymore. Turn that. Okay, let's get back to the P2, where that solar panel glitch that the tour bus was suffering from has returned. Electricity is a problem. Why is electricity a problem? It's being used up. Okay, let's turn off pressure control. Something is... Like here, if I turn it just completely sideways, it's like the solar panels have stopped working. All of them. There's clearly some sort of funky solar panel glitch in the game right now that I don't understand. But this did finally force me to do something, because unlike the tour bus earlier, I can't just recover this vessel. If I left this in the state that it was, well, these folks are gonna die. So I couldn't do anything. Now, I did receive a recommendation to take a look at a mod that I had installed called Dynamic Battery Storage. I wasn't even aware it was there. I think it's kind of a helper mod, really, to help with other mods. I think what it does is it actually keeps track of electricity usage when the vessel is not rendered. That's my guess, anyway. I really don't know, but it was fantastically out of date. And I started off by actually just, I don't know what you do, so I'm going to delete it and see what happens, and, well, that fixed it. Suddenly my solar panels were charging the way they normally would. I don't really understand what the problem was, but I just went, that's fine. I'm going to leave it. But I discovered as we were getting ready to perform our correction burn that electricity wasn't the only bit of weirdness that was going on. There we go. Oh, I love all of this. You know, when you're like this, when you get these kind of trajectories, you know you're having fun. Let's just make sure everything here is still... Oh, wait, it's not. Our inclination is good, but our periapsis... No, no, no. Why did that change? I don't know. Anyway, I gotta fix this. This isn't right. Okay, so Inclination here is about 50 degrees. Periapsis is about 30 kilometers with Kerbin. Got 185 meters per second burn. I pushed it off another while. You know, I'm not too convinced actually I'm doing anything. I'm not using the moon. Well, I guess I'm using... Oh my god. I don't think I'm using the moon. I think I'm mostly actually just brute forcing this without using the moon too much. But, oh well. It'll work. But before we get to that burn, I actually have the launch of another vessel. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I came very close to not showing this to you. Because as you'll see very shortly, this whole launch becomes pretty much inconsequential. But in the spirit of, you know, making mistakes so you don't have to, I thought I'd show it to you anyway. I like to show my failures as well as my successes. And unlike the previous two missions where bugs were really what was getting into the way of being the hang-up in those missions, this one's all on me. There's some pretty poor planning on my part. But anyway, just to explain what is going on underneath that rather tall fairing are 3 relay satellites. And the plan is to be setting those relay satellites on their way to Minmus, where they will provide a network, so I'll have communication all the way around Minmus. But also what really motivated this, as you probably will recall from a couple of episodes ago, the Minmus 2, a uncrewed lander, has, well, an antenna is down and it can't communicate with Kerbin, so this should help if it ever got there. And the fact that we're going to Minmus is why this is a night launch, because we had to launch at... Well, in this case, I can tell because we're going northward, we launched at the equatorial ascending node for Minmus's orbit, and we're shooting, of course, for a 6-degree inclination. And the first problem reared its head once the fairings deployed, because... well, this became a wobbly, noodly mess once the fairings were deployed. There's a strutting issue that probably would have helped, but actually more. We have a number of independent reaction wheels that I didn't clue in was happening until too late, that they're all fighting for control, and with the automated control because of the launch script, yeah, it's overcompensating all the time, and multiple reaction wheels overcompensating kind of produces this. On the bright note, it is doing a pretty good job. This is the same launch script we had earlier in this episode, and it's doing a pretty good job of putting me into that inclined orbit. Oh, we're starting to burn, whether it's helping or not. Ah! No! I think it was all fine until the fairing went away. I think a fairing was providing a lot of structural support. Oh my gosh. This is classic KSP. Hopefully we're going to be okay. What are we going to end up with? Oh, I don't know. We're in a bit of a tumble. I don't know. Given how bad that was wobbling, that ain't terrible. It's 80.0 by 84.8. That's 84.8 is not great, but look at that inclination, 5.99685 degrees inclination. Can't complain about that. Okay, but the bigger issue reared its head once I had set up my Minmus injection. Does KSP think I know? Why do I have so little delta V? Why is there no fuel in this? Okay. I have no idea what happened here. It could have been a complete botch up on my part. I mean, 920 meters per second to get to Minmus plus capture. I do not have enough fuel. There's barely any fuel in these satellites. This thing ain't going to Minmus. I can't explain what happened here. It is a screw up on my part. And in fact, when I got into the redesign to get this back into the building queue, this fuel can on the bottom isn't even big enough to get the injection and the capture about Minmus or the moon. So all that was left was to deorbit this thing. You'll give it a Viking funeral. Somebody screwed up in the planning. Somebody down there needs to get fired. And I suspect that someone is me. Alright, well let's get out to the P2 and do that correction burn. So we are now 19 minutes away from our burn. I'm going to check this once again because I just don't... What on earth is happening? Okay, now I don't have it. Why are we now on this side of the moon? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Why? Oh, wait. Now we're on the... Now it's back. As soon as I clicked on the maneuver node, it's back to what just was. Oh, that is so bizarre. I don't know what to make of that. It makes me nervous. Okay, this is good. It's all fine. We're gonna leave it. These guys are generating electricity. Yes, so let's just get this done. Oh my gosh, so many weird things happening. I'm watching this whole thing from map view because I don't trust anything anymore. And besides, I actually do like the look of, you know, trajectories just all kind of going around when you're doing something a little more complicated like this. Okay, so that's good, that's good. We're good. Program ended. We're gonna live with that. That is excellent. And how far are we from 3 minutes from our moon encounter? So let's get that looking. Actually, put this back on. Oh my gosh, everything's so weird. Actually, yeah, put it on the north-south. You put it on the north-south circle, and then go along the north-south circle until you're perpendicular to the galaxy, and that is normal to the ecliptic of this system. That should be good. Solar exposure. Yeah, okay, we're charging again. Alright, let's, where's the moon? Everything is weird. Where is the moon? That's Kerbin. Oh, it really doesn't want me. There we go. Oh, there's the moon. Okay, so let's go until we're in the moon sphere of influence. And I think that just happened there. Yep. Yep. Okay, our inclination now is over 45 degrees, but now it's not happy with us because we're no longer around Kerbin. But hopefully when we come out on the other side here, set an alarm for that. That should be, but in the meantime, oh, Kerbin Station is going to be done before that. Oh, that's exciting. Okay. So this is it. This is what we've been building for this season. This is, well, the core module for Kerbin Station. You know what? We'll talk. The booster, by the way, should look familiar. I am using one of my standard ones that you saw just earlier this episode. But why don't we talk about that during ascent? Get into map view. Now I do want... what's coming across is a vessel. I'll have to switch that to a station. I do want to launch so that Dan and Bill can rendezvous easily with it. I think I'm going to go for a 100-kilometer orbit, because I do plan on upgrading Kerbalism. I like a 120-kilometer orbit, actually, for my stations, but I'm a little worried about that inner belt if I upgrade Kerbalism, which I plan to do after this episode when we get into our next season. Actually, you know what? I think this is alright. I think I'm going to launch now. They're coming up behind me. I'll be in a bit of a higher orbit, so they'll be going faster. I think I'm going to just do it right now. Let's just do this thing. So, well, let's hit it. Now. Oops, there we go. I am running just the ascent portion of that launch script. Remember, the circularization, I still haven't fixed the circularization issue for going into equatorial orbits. So the booster is the Kodiak 3-RS2, I believe is what I called it. You saw it earlier this episode. It's what's been putting the P2s into orbit and sending them on their way towards the moon, except right now it is lifting the core module for Kerbin Station. This is my first use also of 2.5 meter parts. This is a 2.5 meter part, but I only have 1.25 meter fairings. But to be quite frank, I don't think it looks too ridiculously stupid on this booster. What I had to use is a couple of, these are just fuselage, structural fuselages, to just push this piece up so it's ahead of the radial boosters. It seems to be flying pretty well. Go this way so we can see it better. That's it. Have two contracts associated with this. One is to just launch a space station. The station has to be in orbit for 2 days, and it has to support 4 Kerbals. The Hitchhiker alone does that. It does have some optional components that you can include, like a lab processing thing, but I don't have those things going. I don't have unlocked a lab processing lab or anything like that, but it is optional, so that's okay. So all we have to do is get this into an orbit. It has to be below 250 kilometers, but that's easy enough. Obviously, we'll do that and then be up there for 2 days. So that's that. And then the second space station contract is coming from the SETI ones, and it's simply to have a crew of 2 Kerbals, which it will have as soon as Dan and Bill have docked with it. And that's about it. Oh, it has to be of type station. We'll make sure to change that once we're in orbit. Just look at this, is a mammoth amount of reputation once I have these people docked. 54 reputation. A ton of money. There we go. We have reached our target apoapsis of 100 kilometers. And nothing is going to happen until we get to 60 kilometers, at which case we're going to stage the fairings. Actually, maybe I should talk about the fairings. The way I kind of have... I got the one fairing here, you can see going this way. I got this other fairing mounted upside down with a nose cone on top. So that's how I was able to sort of get around. We'll see how these all separate. There we go, and there goes the nose cone. I stuck a Sepratron on the end of it to blast it out of the way. There we go, look at that. And, oh, the deployables is simply that. I'm going to deploy all of this stuff once we are in orbit. I can put on some lights, though. Well, we'll put on lights. We'll wait. We'll wait for the lights. I have lights scattered around it. Alright. Still 2 minutes from apoapsis. Alright, that's very good. Okay. Still got 18 meters per second left in the booster. Might be enough to deorbit it. Let's actually take care of that right now. So we'll stage. And still have 427 meters per second left. Might as well leave that attached for now. Let's see how this is doing. 59 meters per second left. Is that enough for us to just deorbit this thing? Spin this around. I kind of just want it out of the way right now. So leave this on if we want to boost this up to 120 kilometers. Certainly will be easy to do. Maybe that's not a bad idea to do right away. I don't know. We'll see. We'll make that decision. Yep, that's going to deorbit. 30 kilometers, so good. Let's get back to this guy. Alright. I'm going to leave this thing just attached. I'm going to actually shut down that engine so I don't inadvertently thrust. Now this one's riding on the 2 Kerbals. This one... These are optional. Oh, I have to change the type to station. Where is the... Is this... Okay, I think the probe body's in there, but let's turn on the lights. Let's get a good look at this, and let's open stuff up. So, there we go. Oh, I still love, especially that lower. Oh, that looks just awesome. Nice. Okay, so where is the probe body for the... There it is, right in here, I see it. Okay, let's change the type to station. So rename vessel. You are a station. Accept. Nice, so this is now... It's just gotta wait, right? Oh no, I gotta have 2 Kerbals on that, and this one's also... We just gotta wait 2 days for this one, but let's... There's really nothing else to do with this. I think that's not bad. It'll look better once this guy's off of it, and that'll free the lower docking port. But for now, we'll leave it the way it is because I might make use of this little pusher. Oh, I'm just looking at it, just happy. Let's get to... Now, what I also have... Oh my gosh, I'm just forgetting as well. Sorry. I have sitting in... Oh! The supply barge. Okay, the supply barge is a day away. I have these in funny orders. Okay, we gotta wait for the supply barge. That will definitely happen this episode as well because I got some fun stuff with the supply barge. But let's get to these guys. So these guys have been up almost 15 days. We are almost at the halfway point for their contract. If we open it up, you might recall they have to be in space for 30 days. And it's 15 days they've been in space. But why don't we see if we can not get them to the station? So we're going to set the station as a target. It's going to still take us a while to get there. I can see quite a ways behind. Okay, so that burns not for another hour and 20 minutes. So before we get to that, we're going to have to check on the P2 on its flyby of the moon. We're going to find out once we exit the moon's sphere of influence whether this contract will be satisfied. We have changed our inclination by over 45 degrees. Uh-oh. Oh, I never deployed the solar panels on Kerbin Station. Oh, what a rockhead. Okay, that's okay. Alright, well, let's give something for Dan and Bill to do when they get there. Oh, lots of fun stuff happening. Let's get out of it. Kerbin Station remote control is disabled. That's okay. We can fix that. Electric charge in Kerbin Station is gone. That's okay, too. Okay, these guys are about to leave the moon's SOI. Now comes the question. Okay. I don't think this worked. Oh my gosh. So we are in orbit about Kerbin. We have changed our inclination. Our inclination's 50.5 degrees. We're going to be coming in for re-entry. But this whole stunt didn't work. I think the changing SOIs messed this up. So it didn't like my little cheat. Alright, so that mission, although fun, did not seem to have a point. Alright, well, they're on their way back in a trusted vehicle. Ah, dearie, dearie, dear. Alright, let's get back to the P1B. These folks' job is not only going to be to dock now, but to actually bring Kerbin Station back to life. Again, this is the nav ball docking alignment indicator. Once you put that on, you are now have the planes of your docking ports. Now I can see I need to back up. And slow the F down. Oh, we're coming in kind of fast. Let's get this. Okay, where is our... There. Okay. Doing this a little quick, but it's going to work, I think. Oh, a little too much. Okay, here. I can't see what I'm doing. Came in. Oh my gosh, I'm way off. Got cutesy again. That one. I know there's this one and that one. I know there's docking alignment indicator, which is a great mod. But I kind of like the minimalists of this, though I came in just a little bit too hot. I don't like that all the lights have turned off because we screwed this up and making this super duper dark. I wonder how long until the light... Maybe I should just hang out here until the sun comes up. How far until the sun comes up? It's a long way. Okay. Okay, let's do this right. Let's do this right. Okay, you can start seeing this. The target there. You can use your navigation thrusters to just sort of bring that in. I'm just watching the nav ball. I'm just gonna... Now I can start moving towards it. Just keep that right on there. There we go. Look at that. See, if I think about what I'm doing, I do much better. And docked! There we go. Now, we have batteries again. Let's deploy those solar panels. Actually, let's get into the sunlight. What's our electricity situation? We got electricity from not a lot. One of our contracts should definitely have gone green now. Yeah, it disappeared. Kerbin Station has lot. Okay, we got to deploy the solar panels right now. Okay, so I think that's a 2. Whoa, I'm still in time warp mode. Why am I still in time warp mode? Oh, okay. 2, I think, was deploying the solar panels. There they go. I know they're not doing too much right now, but I'm worried I'm going to run out of electricity before I'm on the day side. Oh, I'm in the wrong mission list. Let's look at our... There we go. Yeah, that one is now green. It is complete. And we just got to stay up here for a little less than 2 days for the other one. Okay, come on. Sun's about to come up. This was dumb not deploying those solar panels first. Okay. Where are our panels? There they are. So we'll rotate these panels. So they are nicely exposed. Now a trick for keeping these guys nicely oriented with the sun is not to orient this way, but to actually... Let's put this onto, say, the retrograde vector. Any of the vectors along sort of the big circle that connects the retrograde and prograde would be fine, any of that direction. So we'll put it on here. And then we rotate these so that these are pointing in the normal direction. And since we're in an equatorial orbit, that would be north-south, like that. And just so we can give a good look-see. Let point... I don't know which... This way, yeah. Let's get it so just so we can get a good look at the station. We're just going to turn it. We're going to follow that west circle, because that's keeping us oriented the right way. But this is just to give us a nice view of the station. Lights. There, now all the lights are on. Got some blinky lights coming in my supply barge, so that'll be exciting. Alright, let's get rid of this. I think it looks okay. I do so love these pedals. That just looks fantastic. And as Dan and Bill get used to their new abode, let's clean up a few things, starting with Val and Madby returning from the moon. Valentina Kerbin's head feels light. Why? Oh my gosh, I was worried about what the heck. Valentina? Why? What? They got CO. Oh, turn the scrubber off. I forgot. When I was having some electricity issues, I turned the scrubber off and I forgot to turn it back on. I'm sorry. We are CO2 poisoning them. Okay, that should fix that issue. Oh my gosh. So many ways to kill a Kerbal. I don't want to jinx anything, but I am actually somewhat surprised I have not killed any of them yet. Wait, no! No, 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 no. No. Valentina. Okay, okay, forget Ernie. There. Why is the scrubber's going? Shoot. It's running. But I thought this would start going down as soon as... Maybe it takes some time. Shoot. CO2 poisoning is still going up. Why is it still going up? Crap. I'm not sure what to do. Oh, it's going down now. Oh my gosh, thank you. Okay, CO2 poisoning is now going down. Just was a bit of a delay. We're okay. I honestly thought I had just jinxed them. Okay, they're breathing again. Oh my gosh. You know, the air got better a lot quicker in Apollo 13 after they fixed the scrubbers. Well, in the movie anyway. But the rest of this went without incident. And you may have noticed that I was also keeping tabs on a Kerbal named Ernie, and you might recall that Ernie actually was the VIP that we picked up at the very beginning of this episode, who had been sitting, well, where I left him all of this time. But the tour bus had been now rebuilt, and I got Jebediah out, and Jebediah went and picked up Ernie, and actually we had no trouble finishing off the contract. Whatever issues was going on with why I was not getting the VAB to go green went away, so that finished off that contract. Now, kind of curious, if I go into Mission Control now and take a look at Tourism Plus, do I have both the Space Hotel and the casino offered? I can do either one. Alright, that's special. Alright, knocking stuff off. This is my LKO supply vessel. You can see it's being lifted on a very familiar hammer with the R2 configuration. We actually have two contracts associated with this. One is to do a remote Kerbin docking. So that's just simply to dock in Kerbin orbit with a vessel that doesn't have a Kerbal on it, so this is going to qualify for that. And then the second one is to do a supply run to Kerbin Station, and all I got to do is put have some food aboard this thing and dock with the station. So I put on a little food container and I put in the smallest amount of food that I can, because they actually do have plenty of food aboard. But let's get ready. So we'll open up here KOS and oh. Okay, I did not put a KOS Procore on this thing, so we're going to have to fly this thing manually. Okay, we're going old school. That's okay. That's okay. So let's start with selecting Kerbin Station here as a target. Where are you? There we go. Okay, and I just realized as well, as the vessel was loading, I don't have a free docking port on Kerbin Station, so I'm going to have to get rid of that little tug that is attached to Kerbin Station. That's okay. Alright, so we're just going to time warp until Kerbin Station is just past us. And then we'll go into a lower orbit and catch up to it. Alright, so... Okay, it's been a while since I've done this all manually. Little nervous. Alright, but I think we're okay. Alright, let's punch it. Oh, there we go. Not quite sure what happened there. We're off. Pitch over just a smidge. Let's let that just sort of ride. Let it just ride that prograde vector with SAS off. I'd probably knock it over a little more. Off quite a bit from equatorial. Whoa, 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 be careful. I don't think this thing has ever flown manually with me before, so... Oh no, keep SAS on. This is not the most stable thing in the world. Oh my gosh, I have to actually actively fly it. KOS was doing a good job dealing with... Oh, there goes that. No! Shoot! No, 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 no. Oh dear! Oh no, 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 no. Yeah, let's... Okay, yeah, I've lost them. There's no way this is getting into orbit now. Oh my gosh. That tells you how this thing was clearly built to only be flown by a computer. Not by me. We're just going to make sure this thing lands in the ocean, but otherwise, this is a flat-out fail. And actually, when I got into the redesign of this thing and tried to fly it with KOS, guess what? KOS couldn't fly it either. It actually is aerodynamically unstable. I think there is a lot of drag associated with those payload bays up at the top. I have one of those universal storage 2 payload bays right up there on the top, and I think that is producing a lot of drag and wants to flip this around backwards. And in its own semi-ironic way, this is probably an appropriate way in which to end this season. Now remember, this isn't the end of the series. I'll be picking this up again in about a month or so, right where we left off. We're going to definitely work on kitting out our Kerbin Station. And don't forget that if you do have ideas for next season, what would make a good goal, please leave them down there in the comments. And also don't forget that during the hiatus between these 2 seasons, I'm still going to be producing videos every single week, so don't forget to tune in for those. But in the meantime, I thank you for watching. And I hope to see you again next time.